Hello everyone, this is Shubitech, and in this video we start our second networking project. It's been a long I posted since last day, but I'm sure this day we're going to start afresh and expand our project and our community right here in this YouTube channel. So in this video I'm going to draw a topology and configure a network that I actually built in one of my projects. I'm going to construct it and tell you how everything went about in the configuration. This particular this particular project will cover a lot of topics for us. So it will cover for sure, it will cover routing, to cover VLANs, and to cover a whole lot more other things. So wait, I'm going to open it. So this is going to cover up VLAN. As you can see here, I did some VLANs, and it will cover up routing. To cover also the distribution layer. It will talk about here. We talk about the distribution layer of a network. So this is the core layer, this is the distribution layer, and this is access layer. So it will talk about the whole three layers of a network: the core layer, the distribution layer, and the access layer. So yeah, this topic will also talk about that and why it's possible, why it is essential to actually divide a network. So this will also talk about servers. As you can see, I have also a DNS server here, an FTP server here, and a web server here. Uh, yeah, and also routing. So I'll talk about static routing and also talk about OSP here. Okay? Probably in the next video I'll talk about RIP RIP version 2, and I'll also talk about something like BGP or EIGRP. Yes. So that's just it. So I'll talk about let's see the project. I'll cancel this because it's just a prototype of the project. So this is the project here. Photo is a large campus university with campuses situated apart. So we have four faculties here, which is wait, okay. This includes faculties of health and science, one, business, two, engineering, computing, and art and design. So we have four faculties here. So the first one is create a topology with the main components of the following. So building A here has an admin staff, HR, finance, and also business. And remember, they say here they will share some networking equipment. So yeah, use of VLANs is expected here. Not only that, in the project, due to distribution layer, due to adding distribution layer there, we actually need kind of a redundancy to that, because since there is only one layer 3 switch, packing all of them, a lot of packets might overload. So VLAN say is just to create into separate networks so that the redundancy will not happen in the distribution layer, if you understand what I'm saying. So faculty B. So building B has faculty of engineering computing. Yeah, faculty of engineering computing. Then faculty of art. Then C has the labs and IT. So a smaller campus will also be here. Okay, we also have a smaller campus which is the health and science, which is far, and this will configure core devices and view devices to provide. Okay, each department faculty is better to have its own separate network. And okay, yeah, here will be RIP version 2 we use to provide routing for the internet network, and static routing for the external server. So static routing will be used for routing our router to an external server. Remember, it said it will have an external server here. See it here. So the external server here will be an email server. The external server here will be an email server which is hosted externally on the cloud. So our email server here will be external. So yeah. So task one is to plan, design, prototype the network topology of the Albion University. I'm sorry, this I could change it to my university. So Futo University network using Cisco packet tracer. Then so this is the task here. So we are going to start it here. Like I said, there are two campuses. In the first campus, there are three buildings, and the last campus, there is just one building, which is health and science. So we bring out our 2911 router. I've actually made a video on how to actually configure routers and switches. Not the multi-layer switch, not the layer 3 switch or multi-layer switch. I made a video on how to actually configure the router and the layer 2 switch. And if you want to watch that video, go to my channel, click this link, and watch that video. But for here, I'm going to also explain the layer 3 switch and few other services that you're doing here. That's why this video is actually going to be long, but don't worry, I got your back. So this is the layer, this is the router. I'm gonna name it the main campus router. Then we come to switches and add a layer 3 switch. So I'm adding a layer 3 switch, 360 3650 switch. Remember 3650 switch, so that you'll be able to route. You understand? So we add main. Okay, you say campus 1. Then we add switches. So remember we said they had where is my notepad? So we said building A has admin, HR, finance, and business. So we have a total of four switches. One, two, three, four. Yeah, a total of four switches, and the building 2 has a total of two switches, business and art. Sorry, engineering and art. Then that's it, I guess. Okay, building C has a labs and IT. So building C has labs, IT, and also a cloud-based server. A cloud-based server. Let's bring out another router that serves as our cloud router. Then we go to end devices and bring out a server here. Now our end device, sorry, is there any other? Okay, there will not be need for any other servers, but I'm going to bring out another JCP server, and also bring out web server. Okay, and university web server. So I'll bring out a DNS server, web server, and DHCP server. So yes, but that will be, so let's say here, and one printer, here, and one printer, here, and one printer, here, and one printer. Don't worry, I'll still configure this to be a little much bigger. So I'm going to do this a little bit fast. So yeah, I just finished the decoration right now, and this is what it looks like. The one, I know you call my decoration crap or anything, but just laugh at me. So this is it. I haven't actually written the names, but this is what the decoration will look like in case you want to decorate. This is the main campus, campus 1, and this is the second campus, campus 2. So write this campus 2 and switch. Switch. Yeah, so yeah, just something like this. You get me? This is the cloud, and this email server. So the first one is admin. Let's not forget. The second for the VLAN, which is very easy. VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 30, VLAN 40, VLAN 60. And what are VLANs? VLANs are a way of actually segmenting a network. Let's say in a network we only have one switch, and we need like 10 different networks in that one switch. And instead of buying switches one, understand? I just come to that actually switch and actually divide the ports in that switch to actually break down in a segment. That's one of the differences between a switch and a hub. So it breaks down ports and gives them specific LANs. So these LANs are virtual LANs, not actually a real LAN, just a virtual LAN. So that's what typically what I'll explain a VLAN is to a layman. So VLANs are just like virtual networks that are created in a switch. So yes, so we create, but why are we creating it here since we are actually using one switch? So the reason why we are creating it here is because we have a distribution system. And also the distribution system, in order for it to be redundant, we don't really want any ether channel. We just want a simple network, each having a single network and its own IDs. That's why we are having a switch for each department. You understand? So a switch having for one department gives that department its own ID, and also when you make it as a VLAN, it separates it from other networks. Get so making the redundancy here easier, making the talk to flow easier and faster, right? So another thing you have to do is actually connect, which we forgot. So let's connect. Remember this ADNS and this okay I'll come here. Okay okay. In a logical situation is actually using a serial cable for a router to router connection in case you are going for a wide or a far connection sort of kind of thing, because this thing is from here to here is it's actually a long distance, 20 kilometers. I'm not connecting to a cloud router. You see, is not actually something of a straight through cable. It's supposed to be a serial cable, but let's just use a straight through cable for this scenario. But in case you are trying to use a serial cable, if you come to this here is a Cisco port serial cable, because if you actually click on this interface, it won't see any serial connection. You have to just click it and you see the serial connection. You have to like add the serial connection. So power it off and add the serial connection, turn it back on. Okay, let's just use it because that's what I used in my former project. Let's use the stereo DC cable and this 0.0. Oh, sorry, I didn't actually add. Okay, so turn this off and add the stereo cable. Turn it back on again. Turn this off. Add the stereo cable. Okay, turn it off. Add the stereo cable. Turn it back on again. Then come here. 30303131. So this is how the connection is, and come here, you connect. Okay, I have connected almost everything. So the next thing you have to do is labeling. I'm going to pause this video and label everything, and you start. So yes, I've actually finished labeling every single one of my projects. So yeah, I forgot one thing again, turning on the multi-layer switch. So come here, AC power supply, and just add the AC power supply to turn on. Then come here, add an AC power supply. It's turned on, and it will turn on. So yeah, the reason this just fast forward this and it will turn on. Yes, it is turned on. Here is that it's not that it's not turned on, the ports are all off. The ports are all off, which I'll still turn on later on. I don't need to turn it on now. So yes, I've labeled it VLAN 10 to 80 is in the first campus, and VLAN 90 and 100 is in the second campus. And yeah, that's just how we do it. So I'm going to start from the access layer to start configuring. And if I can't finish configuring access layer, I'll do the next video on distribution and core layer. So the access layer here, we're going to configure a total of a lot of things. I'm trying to cover a lot of things in this video, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to cover VLAN, trunking, switch ports, and let's say something like servers, which is also here. We're going to configure servers, DNS, servers, switch button, that's access on trunk, then VLAN, then what else again am I configuring here? Okay, you're going to configure a security las native VLAN, and also no need for a native VLAN. Native VLAN will be one. I'll do another video where we are actually going to do a native VLAN kind of something. So no, I'm not touching any native VLAN here. And also for ports, we are going to be using all the ports, so I won't actually have any use of unused ports, but I'm going to do a video on unused ports possibly in another video. Yeah, in another video, not in this video. Okay, so yeah, let's start. So let's come to this first switch, admin. Remember, I've done a little bit of presentation on these switches. I think I've done an SSH configuration on my other video, and configuring passwords and stuff. But I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm just going to configure host name and secret password. I think that's the only thing I can do here that I've done before my last video. Because of time, I'm going to configure all this. So time. So to remember, enable and config. That's one thing I love about iOS, Cisco iOS. It's not actually uh, case sensitive. Not everything is case sensitive in it. So first thing we do, we actually set host name as admin. Then we configure secrets as Cisco. Okay, Cisco. See what I just did there. In case you just forget, like I said, I'm not an expert in all these things. So in case you just forget, just press an equals to mark, and to show you something you need, and you bring it out yourself. So yeah. So exit. Sorry, I didn't see what I was setting up. So config. So the next thing we're going to do is creating a VLAN. So just to create a VLAN, just say interface VLAN. Just say VLAN 10. See, and name your VLAN as admin, which you just did now. So we come so next thing we are going to do is actually configuring the switch port interface, configuring all the switch ports to access, because all the switch ports here has to be an access switch port. Trunk is not going to be a trunk. A trunk interface is only for connecting to a router. You understand? So yeah, you can actually come here in config and start from here and just access and make it access VLAN 10 here, access to VLAN 10. But this is going to be a long way. To do this easier, you say interface range, then you add 0, 1 to 24. So we switch ports mode access and switch port access VLAN 10. And just the other one we do right and exit. Now the next thing we are going to do is configure the interface VLAN 10. So we enter to interface VLAN 10. then, and what we're going to do here, as you can see, it has changed to up. What we're going to do is assign IP address and assign IP default gateway. If you don't want to assign an IP address to the switch, it doesn't matter, but you have to assign a default gateway. But I'm going to assign both of them for easier use, so I'll say IP address 192.168.10. Okay, the this will carry one default gateway, this will carry two, so this should probably carry three. So three, so in 255.255.255.0, then IP defaults gateway 192.168.10.1, and we do and write, so we exit. And like that, you have configured the VLAN 10, that's the admin interface. I've actually configured it with the password, so you can actually add other things like banner, SSH, enabling SSH and stuff, but we're not going to do that because we don't really need it right now. So that's just it. I'm going to do the VLAN 20 and probably VLAN 30, then the other ones I'm going to do it fast so that you know. So let's do in VLAN 20. Okay, in VLAN 20, I'm going to show you how to do this in the config, the physical way. I'm not using the CLI. So you come here, we set the host name as we say that HR, and we save it. You can see here it's save host name HR. So we come to VLAN database and add a VLAN, and VLAN name will be HR, and we add it. As you can see, we added a VLAN. So we come here, and here is the big part I seriously don't want to do. I've showed it to you before. Adding the 20 and adding the 20, which I'm not in the mood of. So I can actually just come here, interface range FA01224, which is switch ports mode access and switch ports access VLAN 20, and that's just it. So we do right. Next thing is adding IP address. So we come here, IP. Okay, interface VLAN 20 and add IP address. IP add 192.168.20.3255.255.255.255, and okay, IP defaults gateway 192.168.20, and we do right, and like that we actually do it. So I'm going to do this tray actually very fast. I need to do it very fast, and I'll do it config to do it very fast. So thing VLAN database, that's it. So I just finished creating the VLANs and assigning IP addresses on VLAN 10 to 80. I wanted to do to VLAN 100, but I said no. Let me finish for the main campus first. Okay, let me add something here. I say no. Let me finish for the main campus before I actually do any other thing. So yeah, I am finishing the main campus first. Okay. So the next step is in the distribution layer. So what are we going to do in this distribution layer here? So in this switch here, what we're going to do is, firstly, we enable routing, and secondly, we create VLANs in this router, in this layer 3 switch, and the VLANs must also be the same with the port. That is, VLAN 10 here, it's connected to a gig 01. So in this gig 012, which is connected to gig 102, must have VLAN 10. That's what you're going to do in each port it is connected to. So like here, we have either the power supply, like we said. We come to config, we add the campus one again. This campus one is okay. And VLAN database. Now you know how to create VLANs, right? So we are going to create a whole lot of VLANs, but we're going to do it in, we are going to just do it here. So 10, and we do admin. This is for a faster way. Which you can actually still do here as exit VLAN 20 name HR exit VLAN 10. So the next thing we are going to do is configure trunk ports. Now, what are trunk ports? Trunk ports are what we connect to the router. The port connecting to the router has to be a trunk port. You understand? It doesn't need to have any IP address. Don't worry about this thing. We are still going to configure it, and it will stop showing. So come here. The router that's the port we use here is gig 101. So we come here, exit. We're supposed to do okay, let's enable secrets. We didn't do that. Cisco. Oh, this is actually okay. Let's solve this issue first. To solve this issue, like I said, each interface has to match the port. So we are going to add the ports to the interface. Due to this, it's going to be a really hard time doing this. So we come to the config. Now this is 102, like we said. So come here, then add 10. That just it. Come here. I guess that would be 20. And I guess this should be 40. And let me show you what I'm actually doing here. So the last one, 8, is what is actually going to be hard, is what is disturbing us right now. So in paste 9, I guess, switch ports, mode, access, switch ports, access, VLAN, 9th, or 8. And yeah, that's right. So to configure trunk ports, this will not be doing again. So our trunk port is 101. 101. Yes. So switch ports mode trunk. See it? Then switch ports. We do nothing again. I wanted to add the native VLAN and stuff, but we do nothing again. We have configured the trunk port. Yes, and that's just it. So the next thing we are going to do now is assigning IP addresses to all the VLAN interface we just did right now. So that's okay. And we also assign default gateways. You understand? So what we just did here, what we did here is the same thing we're going to do here. You understand? And also assign IP routing. So to make this to be able to route, so just say IP to see it. You should see routing here. Enable IP routing. So you just say IP routing. Okay. Now you have configured it. So do right. So exit config. So the next thing I'm going to do is assign IP addresses. Let's assign. So interface VLAN 10. IP address 92.168.10.2. What is my mistake? So what did I do wrong then? What was my first mistake then? I don't even know. Oh, 4. Okay. So we add a default gateway. 192.168.10.1. So do right. I actually know this. We're going to do this little bit very fast because of time. We have actually spent a lot of time. So interface VLAN 20. Okay. So okay. We do right. So yes. This is it for configuration of the distribution layer and the access layer. I'm going to shake my battery. So this is it for the distribution layer of access layer. So we come here in the core layer of the network and we come to config. I'm going to turn all these things on. So this is gig 00. So we come to gig 00 and actually turn it on. And it turns on. I'll show you actually how to turn it on. The CLI, but that is when we start configuring these types of interfaces here. So after doing this this network and checking everything, we will go to here and configure this very fast. Then I'll see in the next video to actually talk routing. So because routing is a whole brand new thing for you. So I'll going to talk about routing later on. So let's come here. Which host name is main router. So yes, save it. Then nothing else again. Don't come here. We don't need to come here. We don't really need to come here. See, the solution comment configure from configure. Okay, it's not this we are actually waiting for, but you don't actually need this here. So yeah. So we exit. So yeah. So what we are going to do first is we're going to create VLANs, but we're going to link it, or let me say encapsulate it with our gig 00. And I'm going to show you how. Just follow me. So we first do interface gig. I think it's 00, right? 00. Yeah. And if you click enter and say it short, if you say short, it will turn it off. You see it? Then if you say no shots, sorry, no shutdown, I mean, in case it will turn it back up. So I'll exit it. That's not what I'm trying to say. So interface gig 00. Then to start with VLAN 10, we say dot 10. You see, it has created a VLAN which created an interface VLAN. So what you have to do again is here we encapsulate it. So encaps dot iq dot 10. The 10 here is your VLAN number. So 10, yeah. You see, so you set IP address, which is the next thing you have to do. So IP address 192.168.10.1, which is the default gateway. I should always remember this. 255.255.0. Now, if you had a external DHCP server, this is where you have an external DHCP server address, but we are not doing that. That will be later on. So since we have the DHCP server will be in the router, so that will not be what we're doing. So we have done this. We write. I'm going to do for VLAN 20 again. So you'll be very, so you understand what I did. So 20, 20 IP address, 20, and that's it. Oh, I made a fucking mistake again. Just come here and it will go to exit to right. So yeah, I'm going to do 30 to 80 very fast, please. Okay, the addresses of all the sub interfaces. And the next thing you're going to do is adding a TCP server. So to continue, I have actually done everything concerning the multi-layer switch and giving router addresses in the router and addressing the multi-layer switch and also in the switches. I've done this for the main campus and I've also done this for the smaller campus. I should write smaller campus there. Smaller, okay, smaller campus. Okay, so yes, I've written I know I didn't show you guys, but you should use the method I use here to just create what I did here, and just do it here. The same thing I just did here and add IP addresses. I've already added the IP addresses here and also added IP addresses here. So that's what the IP are going to add. And remember, the default gateway is dot one. Here should be dot two in both of them, and here should be 3.3. So now let's add DHCP pools so that we give each and every one of these IP addresses. And after giving them IP addresses, we set up the servers. We set up this server, make sure this server actually works, then set up static routing so that we make sure this server works. Then set up RIP routing, RIP routing, RIP version 2 routing so that these two can communicate. Then also set up static routing from this to this so that we make sure they communicate. I hope you understand. So let's come here for DHCP. So come to CLI and sorry, and let's enable config T. So to start DHCP, first service DHCP and we have enabled DHCP. Then we start by naming the DHCP pool. So IP DHCP pool. Then the name should be remember we are going to do a DHCP pool for every VLAN here. We are going to do a DHCP pool for VLAN 1 to 8. So I'm going to do VLAN 10, 20 and 30 and I'll do other ones fast. So DHCP pool, the VLAN 10 is admin, sorry. Okay, I think it's okay. I've entered the DHCP pool name. So we now add a network. So the network, that's the network address. So network 192.168.10.0 255.255.255.0. Then you add a default router. So default gateway, default router 192.168.10.1. Then next thing you add a DNS server. And since we have a DNS server here, we should set up our DNS server here. So I think we should set up our DNS server here first. Now setting up our DNS server, we can go back and do this. So to set up DNS server is actually very simple. You come to config services here and wait, you go to desktop to IP configuration, then set up IP address for this. So let's say the IP address is I will make it a static default gate, static address. So let's just say it's dot 4, dot 80 dot 4, then this will be dot 5. Then we make the web dot 5. So this is dot 4. Then we set our subnet mask. And our default gateway should be .1. Then DNS server. DNS server should be the same thing with the IP address. So this is it here. So after I'll configure the DNS, I just want to get the IP address. After I'll configure the server itself, I just want to get the IP address of the DNS server. So come back to our router here and DNS. So we paste it. Then next thing is, in case we want a certain IP address not to be included. For example, now I don't want to include .1 to .5 in any when we even out addresses, so it won't conflict with the .1, .1, .3 of the switch. So I'll just say IP excluded address. So we do 192.168.10.1, 192.168.10. We now stop where we now add where you want to stop. So I want it to stop at 5. But I press OK, I have configured it, and I'll just do right, and I've done it. So I'll create another pool for HR. But wait, let's test our admin. So we come here in PC and config and check it out here, and DHCP is successful. As you can see, 10.1, our DNS is here, our default gateway and everything, it's set. So let's do very very, very fast. I'll do for HR, and I think 20, then DNS server, no, default router first, 20, then DNS server, then excluded addresses. Remember, these excluded addresses mustn't be the most. It mustn't be a must. So like that, we have done it. So we do another one, IP ACP. So next one is finance. So we do network 192.168.30.0.255.255.255.255. So default router 192.168.30.1. So DNS, then IP excluded addresses. We start with 30. Start with 30, then 30. Then we do right. Sorry, do right. So let's check it out. Just open one PC here. Go to desktop. Go to this JCP, which has been set. So we come here again. Desktop IP JCP and set. So I'm going to do this remaining ones very fast. I've shown you 3 examples. I'm just going to do the ones remaining fast. I'll pause the video. And so I'm done with the configuration of the whole DHCP servers on the main campus. So I'll just bring out the IP addresses. Okay, VLAN 70, didn't I do VLAN 70 very well? Okay, let me test another one. I didn't do VLAN 70, I guess. I'm going to go back to that. 70 and VLAN 60 did. So I should check for VLAN 70. Let's try again. Okay, so there is a problem I encountered in VLAN 70. Okay, 70.0, 70.1 is the default route. So I should check the do IP do okay show IP interface brief. So 70.1 which is okay. Show IP DHCP. So I'll show the DHCP pool of lab excluded addresses 8 0.8 Okay, I think it says it as a list. Okay, I've seen the mistake though. I've seen the mistake. The IP addresses I actually imputed here is lab. For lab is 80.1, which is very wrong. It's supposed to be 70. I thought I actually corrected this. Oh, so that was where my mistake was. Okay. I will okay a lab. Oh. This is my mistake. Okay, this is my mistake. It's actually from me. I'm sorry. Just I'll do this very fast. I changed something and I will do that very fast. So config t. Ah, so enable config t. So I hope you guys saw the mistake I actually did. I kind of created a 70 and when I was creating 80, I also named it that lab again and it's like overturned the first one I created. That was my very big mistake I did. Then it should be IT again. That's why 80 showed but 70 didn't show. That was a very big mistake from my part which I didn't see and I'm very sorry. So I was wondering what really happened and I was like surprised. So do right. I think I've done it. Let's do this again and it will do. I'm probably sure this time around it will do and it did. And for this it will do. Let's restart it. It will do it again. Yeah, it has done. So let's configure the servers. So for DNS server, come to services here and DNS, turn it on. Then for the name, this is name of a web server, So let's just say photo.edu since it's a school.com, something like this, and address 192.168.10.5. Remember I told you this web will carry .10.5. So remember, in order not to confuse you guys, come to web services, come to HTTP here, and come here. It's already on, so don't need you don't want to change anything here unless you want to change like want to edit the front page, which I'm not editing. So just press save. Yes. So come to desktop, come to IP configuration, and give this thing 80.5. I'm sorry, 80.5. Give this thing 80.5. Then DNS server will be dot 4, which is what it has always been. Then this should be 1. So this is something like this. So you see here, the IP address I added here is what I will add here. That's of the web server. So I'll click add, which I've added right here, and yeah, that's just it. So whenever you ping anything from this PC, like now we just come to this PC, any PC here, and ping photo.edu.com, it will show. So let me show you something. So that's just it. So come to any browser. Let's come to it. Now I restarted this, so let it come up again. So come to a browser, wait for a small time, okay, and paste it. It will see it will actually show up Cisco packet tracer of some kind, which is what is the default interface. Just wait for it to load. This the browser, I don't know, it's actually hangs. It's wasted a lot of time on me. So this is it here. DNS has translated this to an IP address to the web server, and that's how it works. So yeah, we have done everything here. So let's do it here now. So let's create DHCP pools for VLAN 90 and VLAN 100. So come to the this place and do enable comments. See, so I'll change this staff lab, I think, and staff lab is what again? Staff lab is 90. So 90, 90, 90. The DNS server is still this. We are going to route it so it will be, so it can communicate with the web server. So don't worry. So come here and paste, and it will do. Then another one, we change it to student. This is just to do it very fast. It should be 100, 100, 100, 100. So copy, come here, paste, and do right again. And we are done with student lab. I think I should. So let's test it. Desktop and do show request IP, and this is successful, and request IP, and it is successful. So we have done this. So let's come up to the routing now. We have done everything concerning the LAN. So let's go up and configure routings so the two LANs can communicate and the cloud can communicate. So come here first. Let's set up IP address. So for the email server, come to desktop, set up an IP address for it. Remember, it's 20.20.20. Since it's /30 has 4 addresses and 2 usable addresses. One other as broadcast and one other as network. That's for 20.20.20.0 has 1 and 2 as usable address and 3 as the broadcast address. So let's add this .1. The subnet max is yes. Then default gateway is of this place here, which is okay. Let's do this .2, and default gateway is .1. I think that's much better. So leave this as 8.8.8. We are not using the So we are not using our this DNS server here. We are going to use a different DNS server, but since it wasn't stated we should add a different DNS server, you just use 8.8.8.8. It won't change anything. Also, we don't need the cloud to access our database, so that's why you can't use it. I hope you understand. So we have set this up. Come to services, come to email. Now set a domain name photo.edu.com. I think that's it. Okay, and set. Now add a username. So I'm just going to add two ITs. IT1 and password is Cisco123. I'll add IT2 Cisco123 and I'll add. And for other times you can actually add everybody here, but I'm just adding these two for testing. So then I'll come to cloud. Remember this is a gig 01, so I'll come to gig 01 and add an IP address. Okay, and add an IP address. It's still booting. Okay, let's wait till it finishes booting. And okay, it has finished booting. So you come to gig 01 and add an press turn it on and it will show. Then add an IP address 20.20.20.1 255.255.255.25 and save. I think I should add this to as cloud. Okay, and save. And to test connection, come to email server, come to desktop, come to command prompt and ping it. If it pings, our email server has been set. So remember what we said again, from any router to the server should be static. I think that's what it said here. The switches to computer, the RF routing on the internal network and static for the external server. So any routing from here to here. So I'm going to also set this up. I'm going to set this up, so I'll set up so that I can set up the whole static routing together. Understand? So I'll set up all the static together. So I'm also going to set up this 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 here and this one here. So come to campus here. Let's start from here. 10.10. So this is serial 030 and come here and turn it on first. 10.10.10.1 255.255.255.0. Okay, config. This is a 303. So 303 10.10.10.2 255.255.255.0 252. Let me see 52. 252. Okay, that was my mistake. So I've set up this. I didn't turn this on, and when you turn it on, it's so I'll also set up this one again. Since this is 03, this should be 31, and I'll set it up. The IP is 10.10.10.4, so it is 10.10.10.4. If you don't understand the subnetting I did here, just tell me in the comment section. I'll make a whole different video on subnetting for you. Okay, so yeah, sorry, 10.10.10.4 is the network address. It should be .5. Okay, yeah, and that's it. uh, Turn it on. Here should be 31 config 31 10.10.10.6 255.255.255.252. Okay, turn it on. Okay, and we have set up every single thing here. So the last thing you have to do is to route. Let's continue. So we're going to static route everything going to the internal server. We're going to make it a static route. But first, let's make sure this and this are communicating. That means let's set up grip version 2 first. Then we now do static route. I hope you understand. So we come here and we configure RIP. We're going to configure RIP first. So config T router RIP. Yes, so version 2, no auto summary. Then we add network. Now we are going to add the whole network here, starting from 192.168.10.0. No need for the subnet mark. You see, that's going to make it a very, very, very big, easy something. So we come here 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. We do right. Then we exit. Oh, sorry, exit. And we are done. Just like that, we have done now a router version 2. So we are going to do it for this router too. Then we communicate. So enable config. Okay, com. So router RIP version 2. No auto summary. Then we add network. The two networks there are 192.168.90.0, I think, and 900. And we do it. So we have done everything. Let's check if we can ping them. If we can't ping them, then there is trouble. Okay, I'm sorry. First of all, IP address check. Then ping 192.168.90.1. Let's ping the router first, and it got okay. It didn't actually get to the router. It didn't get to the router. Destination unreachable. Let me check the problem. So we advertised the whole network here, and we advertised the whole network here. Let's check the RIP. The RIP, we did that. Okay. Let's configure the problem. Okay, I have seen where the problem is. I totally forgot. Advertise the I didn't advertise. So come to RIP config here. I didn't actually advertise this network here. So 10.10.10.4. Yeah, yeah. I didn't advertise that. Okay, 10.10.10.4. 10.10.4, and I'll add it. It's actually much fun making a mistake and correcting yourself, something like that. So we do that, and it replied. You can see. So let's ping an IP here. So the IP address is a .6. Let's make sure it pings something. And it pinged. And you can see the internal network and the external network is actually working. So for a much more, let's cross check here very well. Open your web browser. Type in photo.edu.com. Yeah, and if it does, I'm trying to cross check if I added a DNS server. Okay, I added a DNS server. So this will probably do, and it did. As you can see, the main campus and the smaller campus are okay. Then we do static routes from email. We first configure static routes on this, then configure this. Or you can actually do all of them once, but I'm going to do it half and half so you like understand where I'm going. So come here. Should we do it like this? Uh, okay, let me show you how to do it here in a very weird way. So static routes. So the best way I know how to do this, there is a forward and a backward route. So let's start from forward route. This forward route is trying to reach all these addresses here, right? So we configure it. So 192.168.10.0, 255.255.255.0. The next stop SE030, that's where it's leaving from. SE03, if it does like this, okay, it didn't do like that. So Control C. Let's come to CLI. IP routes, paste 255.255.255.0, leaving via SE is leaving here. Is leaving from here. So SE030. I sorry, this mistake here. I kind of corrected it. It works like this. So we're going to add 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. Then we do right. That just is. Then we come here. Then we also route, but this time around we are doing a backward route. We are not adding the serial, we are not adding the interface, rather we are adding the IP address of the incoming. That sorry, the receiving. Let's do it like this. 192.IP IP route 192.16. Okay, we are reaching 20.20.20.255.255.2.255.252. Yes. Then the IP address of this IP address of this, which is 10.10.10.1. So it's 10.10.10.1. And we do it to right. Sorry, right. And let's make sure it's working actually. So let's ping it. Ping 20.20.20.1, and it's pinged dot two. Let's see if it will ping dot two, and it's ping dot two. So the router is pinging it. Let's come here and see if it will ping it. So ping 20.20.20.2, and it pinged it. So we have done a static route for this. So let's join this in the static route. So come back to cloud. Remember the cloud wants to access the lands here. So routes, we do our route again. This time around 90, 100. Sorry, 100. So we do a right. So now we should have configured another one here. I should have configured this 190 and 100 here also, but we already have a RIP. That means this has known this. So we just arrive here. You see, now what we are going to do is make uh, config. What I'm going to do is just a backward route for two things, for this and for this. Remember, this just knows this. The campus 2 just knows the LAN. It doesn't know this and this. I hope you understand. So we do IP route 192.168. Okay, sorry, 10.10.10.start dot 0 255.255.255.252. Then is leaving here. So it's 10.10.10.5, 10.10.10.5, and we do another one. This time around is 20.20.20. Do right. Now you should know we are not going to advertise it here, since this already knows this. You see, that's why I said you do have and do have. This already knows this. That means you don't need to advertise it again. So just come here and ping and see if it will work. So exit ping 20.20.20.1. Okay, it's not working. Press ping 10.10.10. Oh, my mistake again. You should know that the cloud doesn't know this. So let's also add for the cloud to know that 10.10.10.252. 252. Right. Okay. So let's try it again. It has pinged. You see it? So ping this 2 and it's pinged. So let's come to a and ping it's 20.20.20.1, and it's replied. So that's just it. Then let's configure the email server, which we have configured. So come to IP, come to IT, and this already has an IP, right? Yes. So come to IT. Let's say this is IT1. So come to desktop, come to email. Let's just say my name is Chubi. So your email address is it1.photo.edu.com, right? I forgotten the address, so it's services email photo photo.edu.com photo.edu.com photo.edu.com. So yeah, it1.photo.edu.com. Yes, so incoming mail server is the IP address of the mail server. So 20.20.20.1.2, 20.20.20.2. So username it1, the password is Cisco 123. Save. Okay, photo one it1.photo.edu. Okay, let's be sure. Email it1 it1 at my bad photo.edu.com. I really did bad. So I'll configure mail. Sorry, I'll compose mail to it2 at photo photo.edu.com. Testing. This is a mail to test the mail server. So yeah, I'll just send it. Send success. So come here. it2. See? So we come to email. We configure our email. So this is tech. Should be tech. So it2 at photo.edu.com. So incoming mail server 20.20.20.2, 20.20.20.2. Username it2 and password Cisco 123. Cisco 123. Save. Receive. And if you receive it, receiving is 20.20.2, right? Yeah, so it should receive it. It should receive it. Okay, receive. It doesn't have an IP address, my bad. Okay, receive, and it has received it. See it? This is a mail to test the server. So we can actually reply test is a success and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So I'll send it and sent. Come to PC1 again. This is so fun. Email, receive, it's received it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So yeah, I'll save this. So I'll look for a fresh new project and we are going to do it together here. So don't forget to like, share my video and subscribe. It should be tech, and I promise I'm going to do a lot more networking videos for you guys. So don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.